went to work the second job. When I got off, I went to my mother's house because at the time my mother was sick with cancer.
Second.
So I go and I look after my mother after work for a little while. I was supposed to be coming home that night, where me and Mr. Rail stayed, but I ended up falling asleep at my mother's house. So I assumed by me falling asleep at my mother's house that Mr. Rail figured that I wasn't coming home that night, but I woke up around 10:30, 11:30, and I came home. When I came home, I knocked on the door. Miss Sorrell was laying in the bed as if she was asleep. I could see like through the window where the bed is at, it got a window right next to the door because we had our bed in the front room. So I knocked on the door. I didn't get no answer. I waited for a minute, knocked again. I ain't getting no answer. So then
Yes,
that's when I
second. Get
realized,
my
remember,
camera back
I had
in
left a
there.
window open.
We're
So
actually
I went
live
in through
today.
the window, which of my own house, went around. When I got to the front, I encountered Miss Sorrell and Mr. Tillman laying in the bed together. I stood on top of the bed and I did attack Mr. Tillman, but I never put my hands on Miss Sorrell.
Second.
Mr. Tillman was a guy.
Mr. Tillman was a guy, not only a guy, a friend of mine. They had just
Okay.
met like the day before. He came to the house for me. She had just told me he came to the house for me.
I was reading her, anyway, you didn't have a key?
I had a key, but I left it at my mother's house. I still actually have that key at my mother's house, but I'm on the lease and everything. I have the right to be there.
Okay,
That's why the home invasion was dropped.
I got you, I got you. Any colleagues have any, questions on violation number 4?
I do. Well, no, not violation number 413. We'll get 13.
Okay.
I've got a question.
All right, violation number 10. You have an arrear in the amount of $2,484 and $65 processing fee. How do you plead?
I plead guilty also with a statement on that.
Okay,
At that time, like I said, I was working 2 jobs, but my mother was dying with cancer, and my stepdad had just got hurt and laid off his job. I was the only source of employment for everybody. So this has been one of the roughest years of my life. I was really trying to take care of everything, and I just fell behind. But
I
when
understand.
given the chance, I'll be able to get that back right and get that together.
Okay. Uh, violation number 13, special conditions. You failed to complete a, say what?
No.
Oh, you failed to complete a domestic violence program. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or with the statement?
Also, guilty with the statement. I failed to complete it, but I was currently taking it. I've taken like 18 classes and had like 8 left. It's like 26 classes. And I just got behind. But I took the majority of the classes, but I did in the time allowed it. I should have been able to finish it, but like I was saying, I had a lot going on, working 2 jobs and the only source of employment. My mother had cancer. I just was behind. I never got all the way finished with them, but I was taking the classes.
Okay, how after you stopped taking them, how long was it in between that you had stopped taking?
I hadn't, to be honest, I hadn't took them in like 3 months.
3 months?
Yeah.
Did you to a parole officer?
I had talked to her. She knew that the hardships that I was going through.
She did.
Yeah, she knew the hardships that I was going through.
Carolyn?
Okay. Well, they have in the notes here that this person, you parole officer kept continually asking you about the domestic violence classes and you kept putting her off and everything. But on 4/26/24, that you were supposed to also be on electronic monitoring and that the unit wasn't charged.
I was ordered for to wear electronic monitoring for 6 months, and I wore it for over a year.
Right. Well, then we come down to another where she explained to you that 6 months had to do with, let's see, to report to PNP weekly for 6 days, 60 days, electronic monitoring, and no contact with the victim. So she says in her report that there was no time frame for you to have no contact with your victim or the electronic monitor, but definitely it was a no contact order with your victim. So why were you even going over there?
With the electronic monitoring, I wore it the appropriate amount of time. I did check in every week. And far as having no contact with my victim, I was in love with the woman and I felt vulnerable. During the time when my mother first got sick, she went to the hospital. She had to get a colostomy bag. At that time, Miss Sorrell came to the hospital checking on my mom, and that's how we ended up reconnecting. After my mom got out, she would come help my mom, feed her, bath her, stuff like that. And one thing led to another. I take full responsibility with that. I was not supposed to get back with Miss Sorrell. If I wouldn't I wouldn't have been in this position right now. And that is definitely where I made a mistake at, and I can own up to that. But I loved her and I felt vulnerable.
Well, did you feel jealous also?
Uh, I mean, when you're in love, you are jealous of people, but at the time of this incident, I was completely blindsided. I never thought that I would walk up on such a thing. But like I say, I did not put my hands on her though.
Any other questions? Okay. Something we
Hear
have.
from-
Oh, I'm sorry. Now we're gonna hear from Miss Sorrell. Real,
Here we go.
how you doing?
Mr. Well? She's
How you
probably- Yes, she does.
Fine, how are you?
I'm
Yeah.
fine.
What would you like to tell us about this situation?
Um, he is right on the part about his mother being sick that I was coming back and forth. But part of her being sick, she had asked me, could he come back and forth to the house because he wasn't supposed to be at the trailer. So I was like, okay, against my better judgment, I'm gonna go ahead and let him come back and forth so he could come see you at the hospital because his closest job was at Brian's. And he was working at McDonald's and Brian's. So I told him, I said, we're not together, but you can come back and forth for your mother or whatever like that because it's closest to going across the bridge. And so that was the agreement. January, when he found out I had a tattoo on my chest and I didn't get the one that he wanted, he ended up jumping on me. So I was like, look, we cannot be together. Leave me alone. Do not come back. We cannot be around each other because it seems like anything I do is a problem. So he had left and he had ended up, yes, he did call me that night and message me or what have you, but I ignored his phone calls and I ignored his messages because I didn't want anything else to do with him. Mind you, in August of that year, he ended up taking my money, my kids' school supply money, and everything else, and running off with it to work. I ended up walking from out of my residence, going across the intercoastal to his job to get my money. That's what the first incident was, besides the one that was in Addis, down on trailer 15. It's been multiple incidents way before this incident. I ended up dropping charges and everything because yes, I was in love with him. And y'all probably see that on the paperwork that y'all have in front of y'all that I did drop charges at one point. But it's like every time I try to get away from him, he'll just come back. Or he'll try to vex some kind of way or manipulate a situation to where he's back in my life. The situation with the house on Court Street, he was not supposed to be back. He ended up, yes, knocking on the door. We did not answer.
Yeah, he's not gonna make it.
He came around into the house through the window.
Hey, she
He
telling
ended up
she
fighting with
telling
me
her
and Mr.
truth and she
Tillman.
telling it
He hit me
bravely.
first. That's when I rose up. He started swinging on me. Then Mr. Tillman was in the corner of the bed. He ended up getting up, and that's when they started fighting. Whenever he came off the bed, he stepped on my daughter. They proceeded from where it used to be the living room. Now, at that point, was my room. They went from there to the kitchen. They broke the oven And then Mr. Collins took a pot that had grease in it and it was warm, trying to throw it on Mr. Tillman. The next day that we tried to come back, the deadbolt lock that was on the door fell off in the hand. So I couldn't even go back to that red.
Froze up for a second.
Mm. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Oh, shoot.
I did
There you back.
approach Mr. Collins and tried to tell him for him to stay away from me and Mr. Tillman, that everything is done with. I don't want anything to do with him. Stay away from us. I even bought him groceries that day, trying to make an
Amends.
alliance with him
An alliance.
and everything. That was the last time we talked. I think a couple days to a week later, that's when he got arrested.
Okay.
But
Thank
we
you.
did make that agreement that he would stay away from me and Mr. Tillman, regardless of what it is. And I would like to have an actual order saying that he'll stay away at least 1,000 feet from us.
Thank you.
Because he has sent my pictures to other people through the Facebook, my nude pictures and my
Oh,
videos.
no.
And I'm not sure, but I think he orchestrated a situation with Mr. Tillman going to jail, having an argument with Charlene Lockheed, because they all know each other.
Well, you need to get with the sheriff's office or the DA's office with what you're just talking about to get a protective order, because they can help you with that. And the domestic violence shelter in your area. They'll help you with
Domestic
it.
violence.
Yes, and they have one in East Bay. Look up domestic violence and then you'll find out that they'll give you a 1-800 number if nothing else. And that'll let you know the shelter that's in your area and they can help with protective orders. I know Baton Rouge has one, East Baton Rouge Parish is Iris. And so they can help you with some of this stuff and help you walk
Y'all
this
see, I got
path,
the
okay?
flowers.
But I did see back in 2022,
Falling
there was
in
a
the-
strangulation, also
falling in the
domestic
background.
violence with strangulation. So
That was the first one.
that was the first one. Okay,
Gonna be
so
some
everything
seas.
is escalating, so you know you need to stay away from him. And you need to take the proper steps for
Damn,
safety
boy.
on your part, okay?
Damn, he thought he was just
So,
gonna have a regular hearing, didn't he?
Oh, it was very brave of you to speak today. Most people can't do that. They're too frightened, so it's good to hear from you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Any other questions?
Dang. No questions.
Ready to vote?
No,
Mr.
I don't have
Childs?
any. No.
He
And I,
sold
Wait, we're voting now. We're ready
all
to,
right.
go ahead, Mr. Tillis.
Mr. Collins, my vote is going to be to revoke for rules number 4 and number 13.
Ms. Baker.
And I concur, Mr. Childs.
My vote today also, Mr. Collins, is to vote for violating rule number 4 and rule number 13. So today, sir, your vote is being revoked.
Hey, that one's a to be continued in 10, 15 years. What's his name? So revoked. We are live today, so I don't know. Is this it? Is this it? Let's see. Yeah, it might be. All right, we're gonna take it back to the beginning. So, for those of you who might be watching right now, who might not, we are live today, or we were, with Parole and More Time, and we were catching the tail end of the last one. Albert Collins. Albert wasn't gonna make it, man. Albert wasn't gonna make it. His victim showed up, and she was very articulate. So, I'm gonna go ahead and take this from the top. How many hours is that? Does it say? How many hours? 2 hours and 42 minutes. All right, we're gonna take it from the top. Let's do it. It's from today, Louisiana Board of Pardon and Paroles. Did I bring my? Guess I didn't bring my sweet Chiba down. We're back in the basement, you guys. Got a new setup. My camera was not cooperating. Let me see if it's doing anything now. Probably not. Yeah, what should I do? but we are here with parole and revocation hearings. Wouldn't that suck to be a parolee or just a guy, and you have this dude back there trying to stretch and dip and turn and look and just stand behind? Wouldn't it be horrible? Like, look at him, he ain't got nothing to do. Nothing. I'm gonna stand behind him, the prisoner, and make sure everything goes according to plan. I want to know what the charges are. This is the excitement. This is my life. I have to protect the jail. Nah. Mm. See if it tells if this is revocation or parole. It, it doesn't.
Good morning.
Here we go.
The Committee on Parole is
I hope you
convening.
don't
We're
think that
at,
good
are
morning
we
means
at
anything positive.
Calcasieu Correctional Center?
See, he leaning in the door doing all that and don't even have the
It's
damn thing right.
8:39
Weirdo.
a.m. Today is June 4th, 2026.
What a weirdo, y'all. He didn't even have the camera ready. He's leaning and stretching and pumping iron against the
Are
wall.
they still on you? Okay. Oh, can you
Well,
hear
after
us?
this case, you guys, I gotta talk to you about something too. I had an agreement with
We can't hear
the
you.
slow niggas in my life, and they didn't keep their
Oh,
end of the
there you
deal.
are. Now I can hear you.
Very disappointed in the slow
Sir,
niggas
would
in
you
my life.
the officer, would you introduce yourself for the record?
I'm Deputy Rosenbaum.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Deputy Rosenbaum.
Okay, Deputy Rosenbaum, thanks for accommodating us this morning. And is this Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Good morning, Mr. Johnson.
Good morning.
Would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and your DOC number.
Hello, how y'all doing? My name is Christopher Jerome Johnson, and my DOC number is 570894.
Say it with your
Sorry, you
chest,
have
boy.
some
They ain't gonna
paperwork
appreciate
there
it.
with you.
Yes,
They gonna hold that
I
against me.
have
I'm gonna shut up too.
Louisiana Parole Board, parole revocation questionnaire.
Is that your signature at the bottom of that page?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay, thank you, sir. The information contained in that document that you signed, tells us you're not eligible for us to appoint you a lawyer today. Are you prepared to proceed without a lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so, your case is assigned to me, so we'll just jump right in. I'm gonna read the allegations against you, after which you'll have to enter a plea of guilty or not guilty, and we'll talk about it after, okay? So you're accused of violating the conditions of your parole. Condition number 4, it states you engaged in new criminal conduct that led to your arrest on or about March 26,
New criminal. Here we go.
2026 by the Lake Charles Police Department and charged with domestic abuse battery, a
Oh,
misdemeanor.
new.
This charge is still under review at the 14th Judicial District Attorney's Office. The victim did sign an affidavit, and then the charges were refused by the District Attorney's Office. So how do you plead to violating condition number 4 about you engaging in criminal conduct?
I guilty.
Okay. And then the last one has to do with your fees. It says that's condition number 10. It says you failed to pay monthly supervision fees. You're currently in arrears or
I don't know why they bring
behind
that up. They don't even really care about it, honestly,
$449.
but
How do you
yes.
plead to that violation?
I also plead
It's
not
part of
guilty.
it.
Not guilty. Okay, so tell us what happened that led to your arrest.
On
This should be good.
March 26th,
Okay.
my Aunt Joanne She had sent me a screenshot and a text message of my ex Jamie, and she had sent me a text message saying that
Yeah,
Miss
he's going down.
Jamie was she was kind of worried about Jamie about she had sent a picture of her with a butcher's knife
I gotta go.
and
I gotta
telling
go.
me that Jamie was trying to harm herself again,
I love light skinned niggas. I'm about to call.
and
I'm about to call.
she was kind of
I'm about to
worried
call a
about
light
asking
skinned
me if
nigga
I
right
could be able to
now.
help her out or whatever.
Oh my
Also, I had
god.
talked to Jamie's kids, and she wanted
Oh
me,
my god, this
kids
is
wanted
great.
me to help her out. So,
You working, my
I had
brother?
called Miss Jamie, and
Always. I got a quick question, and you don't have to elaborate. Why is it that light skinned niggas, and I'm doing a parole here, when somebody asks them a story about what happens, hypothetically, not with you, just in general with light skinned niggas, when they get into a domestic situation, when someone asks them, hey, what happened? Why is it that a lot of light skinned niggas say I was worried about them? First of all, it starts with and then they be like, well, look, somebody called me and they were worried about so and so. Why is that at least 5 out of 10 times the conversation? Not necessarily with you, just light skinned niggas in general. So you're not going to take that on behalf of light skins. That has nothing to do with light skins, nothing to do with you. Okay. 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 Well, I'll take that back. I try to stereotype light skinned niggas because I felt like I've heard that before. No, you ain't got to do all that. You ain't got to do all that. You ain't got to do all that. All right, I'm going to call you later. Yeah, yeah. No, 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 nigga. I'm on a parole here. I'm on a parole here. Oh, yeah. You're no longer listening. Okay. Okay, so then I was right then. Hey, and I'm gonna tell y'all, crowd, you can't see this. My brother right here. If you can see my brother Jonathan, I swear to God, he looks like this guy on here. Now, I'm not saying in any way that the guy that I call on the phone is in any way or talks like my brother Jonathan. I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form. This a good man. It has a, my niece and everything like that. Married, we're both married guys. But I just wanted to call the one light skinned guy that I knew that had a good opinion and see what he thought. So yeah, I was right, huh? I love you, boy. All right. I love you. Talk to you. All right, peace. Same nigga. Same nigga. Jay, why did you do um so they called me and they were worried about her because he's going down. I knew it. He couldn't even he walked it back, said I was wrong, but he knows I'm right.
and
I
Miss
love Jay.
Jamie asked me if I can help her.
What, so
With,
what,
Mm.
ma'am.
so what did you do?
Jamie asked if I could help her.
Um, I waited for her at
Her what?
Opelousas Street on
What?
that's
I told you, man. And you know what? This is the type of nigga that I'm gonna be talking about in a minute. Like I
that's
said, I had an agreement with dumb
between
niggas, and
well off of
they let me
Highway
down. Y'all dumb niggas in my
410
life let me down.
of 171
And you know
by
I'm
the
using niggas
KPC hall.
specifically for
And
you,
her
dumb niggas.
friend dropped her off the first time. Well, whenever she got dropped off the first time,
Oh Lord,
she was kind of drinking and stuff like that. So
guys, what's
I
going on with
don't
this
deal with
story?
the drinking. I changed my life on everything. So I dropped her back at her friend's house. And that's
I
whenever
changed
she
my
was
life.
like, she was gonna take some pills
We
or
don't
do
believe it.
whatever, and she was gonna go to sleep. Like she said, she told me like I don't know, she was gonna go to she was go to sleep forever or whatever.
Mm.
Well, my sister-in-law, she
Mm.
owned a car wash, and
She
we
said
kind
she gonna go to
of
sleep
trying to do
forever, boy.
business together because I'm filing for
These light skinned
disability
niggas be making
because
you
I have a
girls want to go
brain
to sleep
injury.
forever.
So I went to
It's
the car
crazy.
wash. I called
I
us
can't wait to tell y'all my
kids, and
situation.
the kids asked me if I could be able to help again. Was like kind of crying and stuff like that because we
Crying a
was
little
kind
bit.
of
He was gonna help.
felt bad about Jamie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, her kids sent me the pictures, and I
Right,
sent the pictures to Jamie,
right.
and Jamie called.
Jamie called you?
Whenever Jamie called,
And what happened?
I couldn't really hear. She was kind of slurry. So whenever she was slurry, I sent her the pictures, and that's whenever I drove back to Jamie. Whenever I drove back to Jamie, Jamie was in Mr. Wesley's truck, and
She was in the back of another man's truck.
whenever
Yeah.
I approached the truck, she had one a cigarette that was all the way down to a butt in one hand and a phone in another. The phone in the other one, and an empty pill bottle
Ooh,
on the
boy.
floor.
Drugs are
I
powerful
told Jamie
drugs.
to get in the truck and went to Briscoe.
I told her
Whenever
get
we
in the
went
truck.
to Briscoe, whenever she realized she was at the substance abuse treatment, she kicked open my door and she jumped out my truck.
Mm.
I stopped the truck and I parked the truck and jumped out the truck behind her.
No.
I tried to stay like a minimum of like 15 feet behind her because I kind of know how she kind of get. So I called the paramedics and
Y'all,
911.
this shit wild.
And that's
This shit
like,
wild, man.
that's whenever
This shit wild.
from Briscoe
And he
treatment,
means it
like
too.
it kind of took us like
I
around
tried to stay like a minimum,
10,
maybe 15
15
feet.
minutes.
Oh my
In the
God.
process. So whenever
Oh my
the
God.
911 and the paramedics surrounded her, that's whenever I called my angel in because she the one who sent me the pictures. And I kind of, whenever I'm kind of trying to explain myself, I'm like this right here. Like I really I can't talk like straight. So I let my angel in try to talk to him, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So let me ask you this. So I do see in the record that you called 911 for
What?
help because you thought she may have been suicidal. And then I have in the police statement that says when the police did arrive, that she admitted that you had battered her on multiple occasions.
Oh yeah, this
She
was the
never
first record.
previously reported. How would you
Damn.
respond to that?
That bitch. She
I
she
was
had
kind
you
of
got
shocked.
uh
At first,
mm.
like whenever the police came and detained me, it kind of it kind of threw me for a loop because I didn't know what was going on.
It was a
We're
loopy
just trying to
loopy.
help her, huh? So let me tell you, Mr. Johnson, before we continue with our questions, we do have Jamie Gardner on Zoom. I'd like to hear from her at this time. Ms.
Jamie.
Gardner, what would you like to
Damn,
tell
Jamie.
us?
She finna bury this nigga.
Um, okay, so first of all,
Quit
I
chilling,
would
white
like to
girl. They
apologize,
just want
for everybody's
excitement for the
time.
weekend. Y'all better quit. They want they keep
This
they
has been
bad shit.
a horrible experience,
They want
to
that
say the
prison love
least,
for a little bit, boy. They
because
don't
of
want
my
that
own
prison demeanor,
actions.
boy. They want y'all to love on them with that bullshit
Okay, so
passion.
how this all
And when they
started,
find out y'all niggas is crazy, y'all gonna
Chris and
love them.
I, we had broke up for
Oh, oh,
about 3 weeks.
me
Reason
neither.
being
Y'all
was
not.
because
Oh,
I was going through some personal issues and I was not handling them well. I was
only
drinking
place
a
they want
lot. I
y'all is where
was
you
taking
at,
my
boy.
medicine more than it
In
was
jail.
prescribed. And I did have, unfortunately, I did have suicide attempts. within me and Chris's relationship, which he is the one who saved me. Basically, he's the one who found me and called the cops and all that. Well, whenever he had seen that I wasn't handling things well again, um, he told me that he didn't want that around him, and that's why we had broke up.
Right, so what happened in March 26th? What
There you
happened
go.
that
Come on,
day?
yeah, quit
That's all I'm
playing. Just
interested.
tell us what happened. That's all they want to
Yeah.
know.
So that day, the night before, I had sent a text message, a picture to Chris and his aunt. It was of one of my medicines crushed up in a bottle of liquor and a knife, and I was indicating that I was going to hurt myself again. So the next morning, Chris had called me.
Go be
That
great.
day,
You know you in prison, bro. I'm not
it's
being
kind of,
wishing nothing on her, but who cares? What?
I don't remember
Dude,
all of
y'all
it. I
got
only
some
remember
weird
bits and pieces.
psychoration. I'm
Reason
gonna
being, I
die with the
hadn't been
pill on the
sleeping.
blade. The fuck?
Once again, I had took a bunch of sleeping medicine. I had been drinking, so I only remember bits and pieces of it. I know I
So
called.
my question of you, I don't need to know all the details,
That's what I'm
but
saying.
did
Nobody want to
he
hear all that shit.
lay his hands on you? Did he strike you?
Did he
Chris
hit
has
you?
never hit me. If anything, he's just tried to help me. I know, like I said, I don't remember anything. I don't even remember telling the police, what. I don't remember telling the police that he hit
He
me.
got the.
All
You know what? I'm gonna
all
be
I
honest with
remember
you.
is being
We get
real
this a
angry
lot
at
here for
Chris
those of
because
you
he
that might
did
have
try
never
to
seen
bring me
this,
to a
but
rehab, and I didn't want to go.
unfortunately for him and for her,
Um,
even if she's
I
telling the
get
truth,
it.
they're
I
not going to tell.
understand.
They're not
We're
going
gonna,
to.
let me step back and see if my colleagues have any questions of you.
Ain't nobody got no question.
Were
okay,
you drinking that night or you had taken some medication?
sir.
Were you drinking that night?
I was drinking that night, and I had been drinking that day, which I had told the police too. I told them that I took sleeping medicine and that I was drinking, and that I was really tired. The alcohol and the medicine had started, and the
We got to stop
sleep
these poverty
deprivation, it had
relationships. I know
all
you got to
started
love
kicking in
what
at
you're
one
around
time.
in theory, right? But this
And
isn't school, man. Like if
I
you was
guess
in a
that's why I
poverty
don't remember
situation, you don't have
everything,
to.
and
You got to weigh engage, man. Don't
Thank,
just pick and
thank you
choose
so
just
much.
because this was around. You don't know what you could
Well,
do.
you need
Go
to
to the bookstore.
understand that you see the consequences of all of this.
Yeah, he's going
yes,
So,
down.
sir.
Yeah,
mental
he's going
health
down.
issues is no different from any other physical issue in your body. And you have medicine. A lot of people can't get medicine and stuff. So, when you don't take your medicine right, other people suffer. You're going to suffer, but other people
Wow, wait
suffer.
a minute.
And
Uh-oh.
if everything that you're saying here is true,
Wait a minute.
this is the outline of something like that.
I ain't never heard.
So,
Wait a minute.
you were caught, you were able to get help, and that's, thank goodness for that. But if everything,
But when she
was
said
there
that,
ever a case where he battered you in any way?
No, ma'am, not in any type of way.
You ever call the police on him for that?
No, ma'am.
No.
No.
All right, that's,
I
take your
believe.
medicine.
Yes,
As you're
sir.
supposed to.
Wow. If
Like
Miss
to.
Stapleton
All right,
lets him
Mr. Johnson,
I owe a
is there
big,
anything else
huge
you'd like us
apology.
to know before we vote? I think we're
Hold on.
prepared to vote.
Hold on, I'm confused. Because I'm telling you the truth. I'm not saying hold on.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and vote, Mr. Johnson. I don't find any evidence to support that a battery occurred.
Wow.
The charges were refused by the district attorney. My vote
Shame on me.
today is do not revoke and return you back to supervision.
Shame on me.
Mr. Tillis.
Do not revoke.
Shame
Mrs.
on me.
Stapleton. Do not revoke and be very
Whoa.
cautious with this lady
Miss
because you see
Stapleton?
that if she has an episode, this could happen to you again. Mr. Johnson, I'm going to add a special condition of your parole that you are to have no contact whatsoever with Jamie Gardner. Do you understand that? If she calls you, you have no contact, not even on the phone. Don't answer the call. Because you indicated in the beginning she was your ex. Is that still the case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Good luck to you, Mr. Johnson.
Yes, ma'am.
Shame on me. Like I get but I'm human. Um I drink my coffee, I get a little worked up, you know, I'm this is real, you know, this is people's lives, you know, it's not just and I made a decision very early on. I'm like, I heard the story, you know, but listen, I was trying to help her. And you know what's crazy? Believe it or not, when I call Butch, Butch always is. He really, or anybody really is. Jay, they really are, in theory, trying to help, right? But they're helping the wrong people. They're usually helping the wrong people. But I thought that that was going to be read and ruled on in a totally different way. So, 1000% wrong on that one. And you know, there we go. I have no right to decide how Miss Stapleton's going to read it, even though, you know, this is what she's done in the past. You know, she said she worked with a abused and battered women and has had to go wear her pistol to go check on different situations and the different line of work that she's done with Louisiana. So, you know, very hard nosed, doesn't play no games, doesn't fear these men, and if anything, is going to put you where you need to be if you know the women or children or even other men or anybody really is threatened or she sees in the community. And I think sometimes too, you know, a viewing eye that simply gets to show up and watch these things and say how I feel about it. um I think that you know, maybe she does look into things a lot deeper than what I see, but that surprised me. The way she was speaking the whole time surprised me, you know. It would usually, I would have thought it would have been maybe Chuck or even Sharon Renatza to say something like, "Hey, do you take your medicine?" But she spoke up, and there we go. He's sent back home. Whether it did happen or didn't happen, they said it didn't. So he did not get revoked, and he will be returned to supervision. We are waiting on the next case. We have Donovan Gordon, DOC number 738351. Shouldn't be too long. Sit here and drink. Well, you know what? I'm gonna talk about what I was talking about. So I feel really let down, betrayed, confused. Really, none of those things. I just feel like it's sad and it's crazy. You know the people in your life or in your family, and if you're that person, you know the person that's like worse off than you, like the person that, first of all, they weren't the brightest person, right? If there was a special hall of children that went down and were educated on a very unique hall, they were, some of them were probably a part of that hall, right? Or they've never been self-aware, let alone politically aware, right? But whenever you, meaning I, you, anybody that like has an opinion and is willing to stand on their opinion, whenever you stand out and say anything, they're the type of person that will come in and you know, just make a comment, not put a thumbs up, not put anything, just make a comment, right? Just have something extra to say, right? Well, I, I'm hurt because most of these people know, especially with me specifically, that you never let your dumb ass be for years and years and years. And the deal was, I'm going to let your dumb ass be. But don't antagonize the smart people in your group, the smart people around you, when we know that you couldn't read, to quote the great 50 Cent, you couldn't read the first book of Harry Potter book. Like, for real, who are you people? Like, you know, I posted something, a political something in there. No, there's no root. There's no da 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 da. No, it's like, what? You, Mr. The
All
Postman
right,
Chicken,
where
Captain
is
Crunch can say it's real? How dare you
Mr.
guys?
Gordon?
We'll
We're ready for
elaborate.
Mr. Gordon.
We had a deal, and you dummies broke the deal. You don't want to play dumb anymore. Now you want to be
I
smart.
don't know where
I'm
they
very
are.
hurt, dummies.
Mr. Gordon, are you in that room?
Chuck, like, what's going on? Where Mr. Gordon at, y'all? Hey, somebody go get Mr. Gordon. Man, Where Mr. Gordon at? Hey. I got to get back to refinishing, reorganizing the basement with my smoke area over here. I got to get it together. Got a lot to do. Come on, let's roll with these cases. Oh, boy. Okay. All right, so we're still waiting. Shouldn't be too long. Hmm. I had that feeling like,
Miss Jennifer,
I wonder
can you
what
hear me
Monica's
okay?
doing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, they're going to get Donovan. I know you're waiting on him, but we're gonna take another case first while they're going to get him. We just wanted you to know that's what the holdup is. We're waiting on him.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
That sucks. Especially if she might have had something to do. Did anybody see if that was a revocation or a parole? I didn't catch that. This coffee's pretty good. It's from yesterday. Like late last night, I put it in the fridge. Still got the ice in it. So we're waiting on them to start the next hearing. I'm gonna sit back and drink coffee. He looking like he don't know what's going on.
All right, good morning. We are now at St. Landry Parish Correctional Center. It's June 4th, 2026, and we have before us Mr. Troy Shelvin. Good morning, sir. I think you're on mute still.
Good morning.
There you are. Would you tell us your name and your DOC number, please?
Troy Shelvin, 293155.
Yes, sir. Do you have any paperwork with you in that room, Mr. Shelvin?
Yes, ma'am. I just have
Is it a parole application questionnaire? No, that's not what I'm looking.
Yeah, I
Stand by.
got
We're gonna put it up on the screen for
I
you.
have it. I have it, ma'am.
So is that your signature at the bottom of that page?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay, thank you. Based on that information, Mr. Shelvin, you're not eligible for us to appoint you a lawyer today. So are you ready to proceed without a lawyer?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. Your case this morning has been assigned to Mrs. Stapleton. Would you, she'll take the lead on the interview.
Okay.
Morning, Mr. Sheldon.
Good morning, ma'am.
All right, here we go.
All right, I'm gonna read the
Hearing of
short
Mr.
version of what
Sheldon.
they think is 2 pages, the rest of it. All right,
Oh,
so
why should
you
you do that?
are,
Well, let me ask you this.
Okay.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
that's okay.
I have a note here that you have a lawyer, Charlie Lear?
Yes, ma'am. That was my criminal defense lawyer.
Oh, you didn't expect him today, though?
No, ma'am, I didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ms. Davis.
Okay, then no problem. Okay, so it's got here on rule violation number 4, it has been alleged that
Got
he
them
was
long
involved in
eyes
criminal
like me.
activity on or before January the
Native folk,
7th,
let's get it.
2025 by committing the offense of monetary instrument abuse. That's that you tried to you did cash a check and it was a bad check. How do you plead?
I plead not guilty, ma'am.
Okay. And then same rule violation. It's been alleged that in criminal activity evidenced by the arrest on or about March the 25th, 2025, by committing the offense of forgery, 5/13/2026, and you pled guilty for a misdemeanor theft on that one.
Oh, no
Yes,
good.
ma'am.
Okay. It is alleged that you failed to pay supervision fees and you are in arrears of $1,762 at the time of this arrest. Your current arrearage is $2,140.
Yes, ma'am. I plead not guilty.
You plead not guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
You paid your fees?
No, ma'am, but I like to make that plea with a statement.
Okay, all right.
And the statement is that I've been incapacitated. I'm unable to work due to my disability. And I had absolutely no income coming in. And in fact, when they did approve my disability, I was currently locked up. I was locked up like 3 or 4 days later after I got locked up, they approved it. And I was unable to obtain it because I was in here and couldn't call them to notify them I wanted the checks. But I would definitely pay my fees if that's automatic if I get any avenues of money.
Hey, do you know what the accusation is against you?
Yes, ma'am. I'm aware.
Yeah, please explain that to me.
Well, on January 7th, I went to Harp's grocery store to attempt to cash a check. I was arrested there by Captain Abel.
Okay.
The officer in the reporting recommendation, that wasn't my arresting officer. My arresting officer was in Simmons, and he had put a warrant out for my arrest predicated on the same charges that I was already charged with, the monetary instrument abuse. I was charged with those charges for cashing all 4 checks at Benny's supermarket and attempting to cash the check at Harp's. The officer then put me under a monetary instrument abuse charge. Thereafter, Officer Lewis took the initiative investigating further, and she charged me with forgery of the same 5 checks that was in reference. And the court consolidated it for that reason. That's the reason it all was consolidated. However, it's not a repetitive act. I didn't bind out and then continue with any criminal behavior because I became aware of it being criminal behavior on the 7th. Prior to that, I had absolutely no knowledge that this woman was engaged in criminal acts.
This woman, not you.
The woman, yes, ma'am. I only provided her transportation, and I had no knowledge that those checks she was cashing were stolen. In fact, I just knew for a fact that her name was Christine Jobert. Everybody was calling her Tansy. And when she would write out the checks right in my presence, she was signing it. So naturally, I thought that was the lady, Christine Jobert. And I found out on the 7th when the officer came to the Harps,
I believe him.
that wasn't that lady's name. I had brought that lady to the store the night before. She went and shopped, did some groceries. I didn't know she had even cashed the check. But I know I did bring her to the DMV earlier that day. And she obtained her license and driver's license that she claimed she didn't have from the beginning. That was my purpose with cashing the check. She said she didn't have no identification, but she had her checkbooks. Somebody had stolen everything. And in my ignorance, I take full responsibility. Those 4 checks that was cashed, it's my signature on those checks. It's my social security number. I signed it and I put the social security number as well as my phone number on each of those checks. But I signed in complete ignorance.
So wait a minute. So you did do it.
I've always thought that checks cashed in stores, you can get groceries, cash your check there, they give you your money back, or you can go there and cash the check. When I was on the street cashing checks, it was 1988. That's when I remember the last checks that was cashed. And that's what I feared. The reason I said it was some type of scam had to be ran on me when the officer informed me that the lady was not Christine Jobert.
What would you say? Okay, so you knew the checks were by another person in another person's name. And so you putting your name on, did you put her name on it or your name on it?
No, ma'am. I signed only my name on those checks. Only my name I signed on them, back of the check, and put my social security number on them.
I'm confused.
She signed the checks with the lady Christine Jobert. That's who I thought was Christine Jobert. She signed those checks in front of me, filling them out for me so I could cash them.
Okay.
So let me ask you this,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Shelvin, how did you meet this woman?
At a store. When I walked out of a store, a convenience store, buying at a grocery store, from buying a pack of cigarettes, she was standing out there just crying and boo-hooing, and I asked her if she was all right. And then she gave me the tale about somebody that stole her purse. They had all her identification in it. They stole her money too. And all she had, what was in her pocket, was her checkbook.
Oh, yeah.
And it was Christmas time. She was getting some last minute Christmas gifts, and she was unable to do it. And I asked her, is there any way I can help you out with that? She told me then, and I don't know if that's exactly how it went, but at that time, I felt like she needed the help. And I gave it to her because she told me I could just cash a check for her. She'll have money for Christmas.
Right, so let me ask you this, so you cashed all 4 checks.
Yes, ma'am.
Was that all in one day?
No, ma'am. That was different days. I think it was the day before Christmas, because I remember her telling me she wanted to get gifts there. I think it was the day after Christmas, and I remember her clearly telling me she wanted to get last minute detailed gifts to people she had missed. And
Right.
then it was on, I think.
That was strange, why she wouldn't just go to the store and get gifts instead of trying to get cash. I mean, you missed something there.
Yeah, I did. I missed it. In hindsight, now I see exactly what had happened. I didn't know at that time, no, ma'am. I complied with my parole agreement.
Money? She gave you some money for taking her around? Did
Yes,
you get
ma'am.
some money?
Yes,
Yeah, you
ma'am.
got money.
She told me she was gonna give me some money at the end, and she would give me $25 for gas for bringing up where she had to go buy the gifts.
Nah, he knew.
Okay, and look, it says here that there was a check cash, so it's January the 6th. These are after Christmas. And then why would she not said, take me to my bank?
She said that on the 20, I think on the 6th, I brought her to the DMV. Brought her there, waited outside. She came out saying she got her license and her identification.
And then take me straight to the bank so that I can cash me some checks and let them know my purse has been stolen.
Well, she said they were personal checks. And in this area.
That's still your bank, personal checks, that's still your bank.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Well, like I stated, it was in my ignorance that I did them things. I didn't know how the check process worked. It was forever since I knew anything about the checks, 88 from 88 to now. And I had no checks that I had ever cashed. And I thought that was the normal procedures.
Well, it says here in the summary that you passed by going to these different stores and stuff, that you passed by multiple check cashing locations in order to reach the locations you went to.
That's mistaken. They only have one store in Opelousas and one in Sunset that cash personal checks. And that's known. That was a mistake that the report and recommendation stated. I went to specific stores so she can cash checks. I went to specific stores so she could shop, not so she could cash any checks. And I didn't drive around for her to cash checks. She would cash the check. I would cash the check. She would go to a store like Walmart somewhere and shop. And I was content with it because she was paying me. And she promised to pay me some money at the conclusion when she finished.
I think that's the root of your ignorance. The fact that you were going to get paid, and that's really all you were thinking about. And how it happened was really not in the forefront of your mind. Just you were going to get paid. And her behavior, because yes, it started December 26th, which was the day after Christmas. And the woman's purse got stolen in a doctor's office with some cash in it. She didn't get the cash back. Now, the checks that were forged and everything, the bank stopped that and she didn't suffer the consequences for that, thank goodness, the victim. The first one was December 24th, which is the day before, and there was 2 checks. But then there was December the 26th and January the 2nd. So it continued on. You had a brief respite of, I don't think this makes any sense.
Yeah, it was, she called me on the 2nd, after I hadn't seen her or anything. On the 2nd, she called, told me if I was still ready to bring her to some stores. And she had to go and get her DMV, get her license and everything. So I went on the 2nd, same thing, I cashed the check. We also went like to a shoe store here in Appaloosa. She bought shoes for her grandchildren. And then on the 6th, she said she got all her information. She got her license and credit card and everything straight. So it was good. I didn't know anything about her going to cash that check on the 6th that night. She went in the store, came out with groceries. So when she gave me a check, she wrote it out to me, told me $200 was going to be my fee. I was good with $200. She signed a check in front of me, and I left with her after bringing her back. The next morning, I came to that store where I knew they would cash that check, and I gave it to her. When the officer detained me, I explained to the officer, no, I was the one who told the officer I cashed 4 of them checks at Benny's supermarket, so I know they were good. I didn't know she was telling me they were stolen. I told her I knew the checks were good because she stated the checks were bad. And when that was Officer Avia, when she explained it to me what had transpired, instantly I became aware. I was gullible. I fell for it, and it was my responsibility. I cashed those checks. I took responsibility for it immediately. Knowing I cashed the check, but it was not nothing done with me trying to deceive nobody. I didn't try to,
Okay, all right, so anybody have any questions?
I don't have any questions.
All right, Mr. Shelvin, I'm very sorry that you don't understand about checks and all the different things that occurred here.
We have some people with thanks.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, hang on a minute. Let's see, what did I do with it? We want yours. Okay. All right, so we have we have some people in support of you, okay? We have Miss Shelvin. Deborah, please speak. Michelle, okay, Deborah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. What would you like to say on behalf of your brother?
On the behalf of my brother, is just like you saying. I explained to him that he can be railroad like that. That they have people like this. Excuse my French, bullshitting him. Okay, but he deserve. I think he deserve another chance. I think he learned this time. I really do.
Not to trust anybody.
Not to trust anybody, because my brothers trust too many people.
Okay.
And he don't know that much about all these people, because he's been locked up all this time. So he don't know nothing about none of these people,
Right.
And I think she took advantage of him.
Okay.
That was his mother.
So you're Miss Viola?
Yes, ma'am. I'm the mama.
I can tell. That's good. That's sweet. Yeah. Miss Viola, what else would you like to say about your son?
I think that he deserves another chance because, and I would appreciate it if y'all did give him a second chance, because I think he was tricked into what he was doing because he don't know that many people, he don't know this lady like talking about because he was locked up.
How long was he locked up, Miss Viola?
Ma'am?
How long was he locked up?
35 years, almost 35 years he was locked up. So
Okay.
he don't know a lot of, even his first and second cousin, he don't even know half of them, because he was locked up all this time. Yeah.
That's true. It's hard to come back into the world after being.
Yeah, right. But I really would appreciate it if y'all, in Jesus' name, that y'all would let him come home.
That's a good thing. Call on. Is Miss Rubin there? Miss Helen
Yes,
Rubin?
ma'am.
Can you speak,
I'm
please?
here.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I'm the fiance of Troy Michael Shelvin. Good morning.
Okay.
I don't think he was aware of what happened. I apologize because, like I said, he's been locked up since he was 17. So he really didn't know the process of cashing checks and whatever. Because when Troy first came home, the second week he got a job at Waste Management. He was being paid on a card. And I
Okay.
was the one in charge of, doing things for him on the card. And also he did make payments, maybe about 3 to 4 payments of his parole. But then he got a letter from his doctor stating that he was disabled due to his he have a psychotic, I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, psychotic nerve in his back. He
Sciatic nerve. Oh, gosh.
sciatic nerve, I'm sorry.
Sciatic nerve, okay.
I
Yes.
did send up a paper to probation and parole showing that. I also gave Miss Rachel Green, his parole officer, paper saying why he wasn't making payments and why he wasn't working. He did hold 2 jobs, Waste Management. He didn't go forward with the job because they were moving out of state. His parole officer at the time did give him permission, but because of transportation, he wasn't able to move forward. He got on with Clean Slate in Lafayette. And because he was taken off and going to the doctor and stuff, he was let go of that job. Not really let go, but the doctor gave him a paper to give to Clean Slate. So that is his reason why he wasn't working and making payments.
Yeah, what about him
And he
taking them
did get
checks, though?
approved for his disability, but because he was incarcerated at the time, he couldn't have a phone conversation with them for them to move forward.
But that has happened now. He's on Social Security disability.
Well, not yet because he's incarcerated and he couldn't move forward with the case.
Okay. Okay. Well,
They did send a letter saying that he was approved, but they needed to have a phone conference with him.
okay. Well, that's good then. I'm glad to hear that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now, does any of my colleagues have any questions?
Let me ask, Mr. Shelvin,
Yes, ma'am.
what did you learn?
And I can't trust people in that. I got to apply my critical thinking skills more. Definitely. I learned that.
So if you're not, you've been in jail over a year, haven't you?
Yes, ma'am.
And I noticed in your record, that's you had a substance abuse problem. Have you?
Yes,
What do you
ma'am.
think about that?
I went to Oceans and got treatment there. I stayed at Oceans about 6 months as an outpatient. And
So how do you deal with it on a daily basis now?
Now, honestly, I drink coffee, and that helps me. I'm contained with coffee. The nicotine is a help for me. Drinking coffee.
So you smoke cigarettes, you said, the nicotine,
I
and
smoke
drink
cigarettes.
coffee. Yep. No drugs,
Yeah,
no alcohol.
no alcohol. I don't know alcohol. I can't even stand the smell of it. I guess all them years away from it.
That's good. You go to church?
No, ma'am, I haven't been going to church like I should. I've attended services with my mom or my aunt tell me to come to church.
Reason I asked that question, you sure like to talk a lot. And I was gonna ask you if you would consider talking to the youth group at church. I think you have a story to tell that maybe they could learn from.
Yes, ma'am, I would love doing that. I've been trying to do that with Port Barry with the recreation center.
You can do it in church with your
Don't send
mama.
that motherfucker
She'd
around
probably
my
be proud
kid.
of that. All right, I don't have any other questions. I'm ready
They're
to
still gonna
vote.
violate
Yeah,
you.
oh, yeah. All right.
All right.
So my vote today is do not revoke. You served a year
There
really
you
on this sentence, so to speak. And so I think that's enough time and you've learned lessons. And I agree with Ms. Renat. I'd love to see you talk to people at church because you do have a story to tell. And some people will listen because they know that you've lived it. And your mother, invoking Jesus' name. So I think I'd listen to your mom. Okay. So today my vote is not to revoke.
Mr.
Good
Tilts.
family help sometimes.
Where do you plan to cash the next check?
Oh, man, oh.
My vote also is do not revoke.
There we go.
All right, Mr. Shelvin, I say do not revoke also, but I am going to add a special condition of your parole. We do want you to perform community service speaking to at-risk youth. And you got to
There we
do
go.
that 4 hours a month.
That's an honor.
Okay.
That's an honor.
That
Thank you,
becomes
Linda.
burdensome. You talk to your parole officer, but
No,
be careful.
that's an
Good
honor
luck.
to be even.
Thank
You know,
y'all very much.
that's one of the things that
Thank
isn't
y'all.
even. Look at that! Wow.
Oh, I
These families
appreciate
decided to
y'all.
happen.
Thank y'all so much. Oh.
Mm. There are a lot of people that are sour, hurt, mean people deep down inside because they don't have people that are rooting and cheering and just hoping simply to get out. Rooting, got a mama, look like either sister,
Oh,
grandma,
my
maybe
bad. I ain't mean to cut
there
cut you
waiting and
though.
rooting and cheering, and for Miss Renasa to say, I want you to talk to kids, at church. You saw the family's hands just go up and stuff. There are a lot of hurt people that don't have that. A lot of hurt people. And yeah, I feel like they got that one right. We're going on to the next one. Donovan Gordon, DOC number 738. No, that was the same one, wasn't it? All right, here we go.
All right, Mr. Gordon, good morning.
Good morning.
You are at the Lafourche Parish Jail. Is that
Yes,
right?
yes, ma'am.
All right. So I think do you have any paperwork there with you?
This one,
Yeah, that's a parole revocation questionnaire. And so at the bottom of that page, is that your signature?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, based on the information on that form, it tells us you're not eligible for us to appoint you a lawyer. So are you ready to proceed this morning without a lawyer?
Yes, ma'am. Like,
Okay, so your case let me just acknowledge, I think you can see on Zoom is your mother, Jennifer Gordon. And then we have your other mother here, Miss Michaela Hanchett. And both of those ladies want to speak on your behalf, and they're going to do so in just a few minutes. Your case has been assigned to Mr. Tillis, so I'm going to just turn it over to him.
yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Mr. Gordon. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I guess I'm breathing this morning, right?
Well, that's good. That's good. I'm going to read violations, and you tell me whether you're guilty, not guilty, or if you want to present a statement. At your revocation hearing on 3/18/26, in lieu of revocation, the board ordered you to complete a transitional work program. You failed to comply with the order of the parole board that you were and did not satisfy the completion of the work release due to violation 14. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or with the statement?
Not guilty with a statement.
Okay, tell us what happened.
All right, I had just got off of work. All right. I had a job. They had me at the Crystal's Hot Sauce. All right, I get off of work and I be helping them sometime in the kitchen because they be short on staffs at the work release in the kitchen. So I went and laid down because I had been working all day. So I went and laid down in my rack, and people come wake me up. So I look at him. He said, "You okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm good." He said, "Your eyes look red." I said, "I was asleep." I said, "You just come wake me up out my sleep." He said, "Well, let's go take you your blood pressure." So they brought me to take my blood pressure. He said I was low. My blood pressure was low. So I was like, man, I was laying down. I don't know why my blood pressure low. I don't know why I don't never have high blood pressure either. So he was like, we're gonna bring you to the jail at the work release. I mean, at our work at the jail because it was nighttime and they don't have the nurse at the station at night. So they brought me to the jail to get my vitals and my blood pressure checked out. But when I got here, the lady said my blood pressure was fine, my vitals was fine. She said, "Why y'all brought him?" I said, "They said my blood pressure was low." Then he's like, "No, he looked intoxicated." I said, "All right, if I'm intoxicated, why y'all never gave me a drug test?" He called the work police and told him like his vitals fine and his blood pressure low. I mean not low, like the lady said he was fine. So the man the supervisor told him, well, dress me out. But since I've been here, I never received a write-up. They never brought me a write-up supposedly from work release saying I was intoxicated. But like the parole man told me when he brought my paper Friday, he said, if you think somebody intoxicated, we would in my mind, we are drug testing. They never gave me a drug test a day. And when they said I was intoxicated, I'm like, man, I'm not intoxicated. I really was tired. I said, that's my first time really working like this. Like I never had a real job in that world. So he was like, well, when you go in front of the parole board, just let them know like that place they just corrupted. Like they like since I've been there, like 15 other people that got knocked out for the same thing, so-called saying they intoxicated.
Okay. How long were you on work release?
For 2 months.
That day, how long did you work? 8 hours, 6 hours?
Oh, from 6:30 to we get off at 5. And then like I said, I go help them in the kitchen too when I get to the work release.
Okay, that's good.
Like I do stuff for them. Like I don't even much have to go help them in the kitchen, but I just out the kindness of my heart because they be short on staff, so I be helping them in the kitchen.
Okay, thank you. We want to hear from your mother now, Miss Jennifer Gordon. Is she on Zoom? Miss Gordon, how are you this morning?
Good morning. How are you?
Good. What do you want to say about your son?
Well, I can honestly say this go around, he's been doing real good. I talked to the supervisor at Crystal myself to check to see how he has been doing, and because I have his personal number, the man at the Crystal place, and he was looking for Donovan to come back to work after this day that happened, and Donovan has never worked before, so I can understand him being tired. My youngest daughter suffers from low blood pressure. I don't know what happened with the blood pressure situation, but I do know that one thing about it, he did beg those people to give him a drug test. And I had kept calling them to talk to them. They didn't answer, but when they called me one time, they called me to tell me that they was gonna send his stuff to me and they needed an address. It's been 3 weeks. I still never got that. Then they took half of his money from him that I don't even know if y'all got the money that he's been working because he made over 800 and some dollars, but he haven't seen it.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for your comment.
You're welcome.
We're going to hear from Miss Hatchett now.
Good morning, sir.
Sean.
Yes.
Stand up at the podium, please. Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You sure
How
you're
you
ready?
doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I seen better, man.
What I want you all to know is, I really think this last go around with my son, it was him trying to do better. It's just the means and the help that he got was not in his best interest. I raised Donovan for 16 years, so these last 15, he's been out there in that world on his own. But what I want Donovan to understand is that if this parole board gives you your out this time, you have to hold yourself accountable for your actions. I don't want to hear the excuses from others because I know that you know better. And I know what your work ethic is. You said you hadn't worked, but when your very first job that I helped you get, I still remember the praises that they gave you. So working is not a problem for you. You'll do that. It's just I want you to be able to hold yourself accountable for your actions. Nobody is responsible for you but you. I've always taught you that. Also too, I started a company called Hank's House for this very reason. To give those that are re-entering, and I told him, I said, if the parole board gives him, lets you out, that I'll work with his caseworker, anything that's in place for these people to be able to re-enter society successfully. That's what my company does.
What's the name of it?
Hank's House.
Hank's House.
Hank's House was started as a re-entry and also for homeless and veterans. So if you look us up, we're there. That was my dad's vision, and that's my vision for my son. So, like I told you when we talked on the phone last week, as long as I can find out what they're willing to allow you to have, and those people that you will work with, my company will work with you and your case managers to help you be successful. But you have to understand, you have to put in the work as well. It's not gonna happen overnight. So I don't want you to continue looking for a quick fix. But as long as you're willing to put in the work, like I've always been, I'm there with you.
Thank you so much, Sean. Thank you. Any of my colleagues have questions?
Yeah, I do. I see, Donovan, I do see the report about what the officers observed in you that night. It was like 8:30, I believe, in the evening. And I do see the disciplinary report dated May 13th. Did you go to DB court?
No, ma'am. I've never been to DB court yet.
Right. It doesn't,
Like, they
there's
have
no
people-
indication on here that you did go to court. So I was just confirming that with you. So what do you think is your plan whenever you get out of jail? What would it be? The board gave you a break last time, realizing that you needed probably some job skills, and that's, I'm sure, why they said work release. So tell us what your plans would be.
My plans really, like, to be honest, like, once I got that job, I really started liking the job, like
At the
going to
Crystal
work.
Hot Sauce place?
Yeah. Like, I really started liking going to work. I was looking forward to, I was getting up early, waiting on the van to go to work. Like, I'm like, this time, like, cause I'm getting old. I'll be 30 this year. Like,
No.
so it's like, this time I'm ready to do something different. Like, I've been getting in trouble for the last 15 years bad, like, and I'm ready just to do something different. Like, I'm tired of it always led me to the same thing, back in jail, pushing my family away. And like this time I'm just ready to reunite with them and do the right thing, because like,
So if they're willing to help you, you're gonna accept it?
yes, ma'am. Like, I won't turn down the help. I'm really to help myself too.
Where would you live?
Like, I could go with my godmom
Where's that?
in Baton Rouge.
All right. That's all I got, Mr. Tillis. Miss.
But Hank's House would help him. My company helps
I understand.
secure house.
Can I call the executive session?
I'll second.
Dennis?
Yes.
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 We're gonna be in executive session for just a few moments to discuss confidential matters. We'll be right back.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Jonathan, we are back in regular session. It's 9:44. We're prepared to vote. Mr. Tillis will be voting first.
Mr. Gordon, we've given you a chance, and it seems like you, I don't know, are you sure you have yourself together?
I know I got myself together this time.
Okay, what I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna say do not revoke, but you're gonna have conditions. We're gonna have to send you to the Hanchett House. And if this comes up again, you have any problems, you're gonna be doing some time probably. Okay,
I promise you, that's my word. You would never have to worry about that.
prove it to me. Your conditions are you're gonna have to go to the Hanchett House. Okay, that's my vote.
Stapleton.
I concur with Mr. Tillis, and with his conditions also.
All right, Donovan, and based on what I see, I too, my vote is do not revoke and add as a special condition that you must connect with Hank's house.
Yes,
Take
ma'am.
services offered and you must maintain full-time employment.
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck to you.
Thank y'all so much.
Good morning. Committee on Parole is reconvening. It's 9:49 a.m. Today is June 4th, 2026. We're at Rayburn Correctional Center. Good morning, Warden. Would you and your staff introduce yourself, please?
Yes, ma'am. Keith Baker, Warden.
Jennifer Forbes, classification. Kristen Herbert, records.
That's it.
All right, thank you, sir. And we have Mr. Edwards.
Yes, ma'am.
Morning, sir. Would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name, your DOC number.
I'm tired. That was 317974.
Yes, sir, Mr. Edwards. I'm going to read some identifying information into the record and ask you to verify if it's correct. Mr. Edwards, you are currently serving a 30-year hard labor sentence. You were sentenced December 8th, 2008 as a habitual offender for possession of cocaine. You have a good time date, mandatory release date, November 30th, 2034. Is that information correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, and so you do see on the screen, we have the parole project here, Mr. Kerry Myers. Your daughter, Miss Burns, is trying to check in. We're still trying to reach her. So if she is able to get in, we'll ask for her comments also. Your case this morning has been assigned to Mrs. Stapleton. She'll take the lead on the interview.
Hey, how are you doing this morning? Want to speak? You can talk.
Hey, how you doing?
Mr. Edwards? Okay. No problems, no problems. Listen, why don't you tell us what brought you here today?
What brought me here today?
What happened?
Man, we have a little bit of trouble hearing you.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're having trouble hearing me?
I was sentenced as a second offender.
Okay. And so what was your sentence and what was it for?
Possession of drugs.
What kind of drugs and what happened?
I went to court to find me guilty on possession of cocaine charge. Back in 2005, really.
In 2005?
Yes, ma'am.
So what were you doing in 2005 that they charged you with that? I mean, what was going on? What happened? How did they catch you with drugs?
They found some drugs behind the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
They were just walking behind the house. Well, I'm gonna read here a little bit. According to arrest report, Bob, I knew because I'm dragging everything out of you this morning. So according to arrest report, Bob, New Iberia Police Department on May 22nd, 2004, narcotics agents set up a surveillance on an abandoned home located on Corrine Street in New Iberia. The surveillance was due to a cooperating individual that notified New Iberia Police narcotics agents that you, Todd Edwards, AKA BR or Baton Rouge, was coming to New Iberia to sell crack cocaine. At 1 a.m., agents noticed an individual fitting the description of Edwards walked into the rear of the abandoned residence. Agents witnessed Edwards concealed two objects, one under the residence and the other on a clothesline pole. Agents then converged on Edwards and placed him into custody. A large bag of crack cocaine was located in the clothesline pole, and a second larger bag of crack cocaine was found under the abandoned residence. A total of 81 grams of crack cocaine was seized in this operation. A search of Edwards' person revealed $305, which agents believe was derived from drug transactions. Edwards was transported to the New Iberia Police Department and charged with possession of crack cocaine over 28 grams, but less than 200 grams. So that's what got you arrested, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, got that out of the way. Okay, so why don't you tell me also what you've been doing since you've been in jail?
Oh, I have a lot of things. I have well, I have GED, serve safe, money management, AANA, anger management. I'm pressing at this prison.
Uh-huh.
I'm a janitor in a dining hall, lawn service.
Mm.
I'm in a
So a
faith-based
lot,
program.
yeah. So I'm seeing here a lot of programs that you've been taking, especially during 2017. I see a lot during that time. And then I see 2011 and 2012. Have you taken anything since 2017 or have you kind of maxed out?
Yes, ma'am. I'm in a program right now. I've been there for like a year and a half almost.
What is that program?
Freedom Challenge.
Oh, okay, all right. I'm
Yes,
gonna
ma'am.
speak to the warden and then I'm gonna come back to you, okay? I would like to see what the warden has to say. What would you say for him, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Todd came to us in, April of 22. He's had no write-up since he's been here. He does work in the kitchen. And his record has all of the certificates and stuff we have available for him.
So he's been there approximately 4 years, is that correct? Approximately,
Sorry?
approximately 4 years. He's been there approximately 4 years and no write-ups. Okay,
Just a little over 4 with no write-up.
okay, all right. Well, you've got some people here that would like to speak for you, and one of them is your daughter, Miss Burns. Would you like to speak, ma'am? Or Burns, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Tekla Barons, yes, ma'am.
Barons, okay.
Summoned outside
What
by
would you
my
like to
wife,
say?
so I shall return eventually.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna get a little emotional. I'm ready for my dad to come home.
Okay, that's okay.
It's Tom. He's changed.
I shall return.
He's in good health. He's better mindset. And I'm just ready for my father to come home. He's been gone 18 years.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, so we have Mr. Kerry Myers.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. Kerry Myers with Louisiana Parole Project here on behalf of Mr. Edwards. As his daughter just said, he's been incarcerated for 18 years, which is significant enough time to need transitional support should the board grant his parole today. Parole Project is prepared and ready to offer that support to Mr. Edwards. He would come into our program where he would be evaluated by our social workers. He would also receive direct case management, essentially coaching in restoring his ability to function in the world as it is today, significantly different from the one he left. We'll help him through technology, financial management, goal setting. We'll help him with employment. He will go through a number of peer support classes at 56 years old. Certainly Mr. Edwards is now at an age where criminality is at the worst just waned. The records, the data all proves that at his age, criminal behavior decreases significantly. With the support system, with the support of his family, with the support of Parole Project, we believe that Mr. Edwards will succeed on parole. This is an opportunity. He has a good time date in 2034, which is 8 years from now. This is an excellent opportunity to grant Mr. Edwards parole with the conditions that the board would feel conducive to his success. So Parole Project would just ask you to consider these things today and grant his parole.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so Mr. Edwards, let's come back to you. Out of the classes that you took, which one do you find that was the most influential in your life that you think would help you most?
The most?
Huh?
Freedom Challenge. It's brought me closer to God, the Holy Spirit. It changed my life totally.
Tell me a little about it.
Well, it helps you to live a spiritual life, a correction, a navigator in life, to where you make right decisions.
Can I ask questions?
Yeah, and I was gonna ask you a little bit more. One other thing I was gonna ask you about is your beginning criminal history, which was very violent. You had the drug history, later, because you're billed as a habitual offender. But in the very beginning of your criminal history, you had 3 counts of first-degree murder. You had other things, and you had your drugs and everything, but will you tell me about the personal violence against other people? Can you hear me?
I never been convicted of murder charges.
No, but you were arrested.
You were arrested for them. So how did you get involved with being arrested for murder charges? Nothing?
No, well, at the time I was accused of the wrong person. Because the charge was dismissed.
Okay, all right, then I don't have any further questions on that.
Mr. Edwards,
Tell us.
how long were you selling drugs?
Probably about 10 years.
So you were selling drugs 10 years. What are your plans now if released? I mean, and help us. We're pulling things out of you. Tell us, what are your plans? I mean, talk to us.
I'm gonna be a working man. I'm gonna be totally transformed. Bank accounts, forklift, CDL license, lawn service.
Where do you plan to go?
I have no intentions of dealing with drugs, period. No violation of life, period.
Okay, where do you plan to live?
I have some houses. I'm gonna be with the project for a little while.
Okay, tell me about it.
I have another house with my daughter.
Mhm. You only have one child?
No, I have 3 kids.
3 kids? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Seem like I'm pulling teeth, but I have more questions.
You are a man of few words, aren't you?
Few words?
Few, very few. How did you manage, when was your last write-up? I know you hadn't had a write-up there, but when was the last one you got?
While I was at Hunt Pilot, I had a cell phone.
When was that?
21.
All right. So the offenses that Ms. Stapleton was referring to in 1989, Baton Rouge Police Department list an arrest for first-degree murder and attempted first-degree murder. And I do see that about 6 weeks later, the state refused prosecution. Is that the one you were referring to when you were the wrong person?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then I see one in 1992, again, Baton Rouge PD. The arrest is listed as first-degree murder, possession of marijuana, fleeing to elude. And that was, you weren't billed for that, but there was something going on that caused that arrest. What was it?
That might have been a high-speed chase or something, but a murder, attempted murder.
It says first-degree murder. Then we have 1992, June of 92, there's an arrest by Baton Rouge PD. The offense is listed as armed robbery, attempted second-degree murder, fugitive from East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office. And you pled guilty to an amended charge there.
Yeah.
How much time did you do on that charge?
I received probation for that, man.
So is this your
Five-
longest
five-
period of incarceration?
5 years probation.
Yes. And so, is this, your current period of incarceration is the longest amount of time you've been in jail?
Yes, ma'am. 18 years, ma'am.
10 years. And you say tell us what city your daughter lives in.
Baton Rouge.
So that would be your plan after you finish with the parole projects program?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You sure don't talk much.
Can I ask a question? Mr. Myers, have you've interviewed Mr. Edwards?
Not personally, our client advocate did, but we have discussed Mr. Edwards more than once.
How do you feel about him? Do you think he's ready? We're pulling teeth, and I'm trying to talk to somebody who is, he's not saying much, and I'm beginning to think he's comfortable where he.
His interviews were very similar, from what I understand, with our client advocate, and but based on the work that he's done, the programs that he's taken, his age, he certainly appears to be a suitable client for parole project. With the support systems, what we know is that with the support systems we have in place, with the family support he has, that Mr. Edwards would do well on parole, and
Okay.
This is a chance for the board to impose any conditions that he would need prior to his good time release.
Thank you. Mr. Edwards.
Yes, sir.
Are you comfortable where you are?
No. I need to be free. I need to move. I need to elevate my life.
Yeah, but you don't impress me that I think all three of us have been pulling teeth. And but it seems like maybe he's relaxed there a couple more years, maybe?
No, I'm better for society, sir.
Okay.
I'm a totally changed man.
All right.
Have you done, I'm trying to find your programs listing. I can't put my hands on it right now. Thinking for Change, was that one of your programs that you did?
I did a few things for change for a few years ago. I did that.
Okay, all right. Well, Ms. Stapleton, you ready to vote?
Yeah. My vote today, Mr. Edwards, is I'm not gonna grant your parole. And it's based upon you had a very serious criminal history with two things: violence against person, and then also the drugs. And then today, it was very difficult to get you to even say what you had done. I mean, I had to read it to you. So I think you need to come to terms with what your past has been that brought you here today. So my vote today is I'm not going to grant. And you've served 18 or 30 years. So,
Mr. Tillis?
Mr. Edwards, it seems like you've been trying to change. It's just very hard to pull it out of you. The warden, his comment, and my vote today is going to be to grant to the Louisiana Parole Project.
All right, Mr. Edwards, my vote today would also be to grant your parole to the Parole Project. Your record, your prison record at least, shows or demonstrates that you have changed from the man you were in the 90s. The fact that you have a clean conduct record, at least during your stay there at Rayburn, tells me a lot. And I agree with Mr. Myers that, you're at the perfect age where we could, supervise you for another 8 years and be sure you still do well, really get you on your feet. But Mr. Edwards, excuse me, it requires a unanimous vote. So today, sir, your parole's been denied. All right, good morning. This is Christopher.
Yes, ma'am.
Could you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and your DOC number.
My name is Christopher Lee Reisner, DOC number 480-726.
Reisner, I'm sorry, I mispronounced.
Okay.
So I want you to introduce your guests that are seated there in the room with you. Tell me who they are and what's their relationship to you.
Yes, ma'am. My little brother's here, Jeremy Corkin. He's my brother. My uncle's over there in the corner. His name's Steve Jenkins. Craig Corkin right there. He's my stepfather. Lavinia Jenkins, that's my grandmother. And Jill Cooper, she's my aunt.
Okay, and so who will be speaking for you? Anybody want to say any words? Just let me know. We'll call on them at the right time, but I need to know who they'll be.
Yes, ma'am. My little brother, he feels led to speak.
Okay.
And my aunt, she might say something as well. Jill Cooper.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to start off by just reading some identifying information into the record. Your case has been assigned to Mrs. Stapleton. So once we go over that preliminary, I'm going to turn it over to her. So you're currently, let's see, you have two different sentencing dates. So you were sentenced first in Washington Parish in November 19th of 2018. You received a 25-year sentence, production and manufacturing of CDS2 as a habitual offender. Then also count 2 was false representation of a controlled dangerous substance. You received a 5-year sentence. You have another date, June 27, 2022, which involves battery of a dating partner involving strangulation, false imprisonment with a dangerous weapon, aggravated assault on a dating partner. For that, you received 3 years, 7 years, and 3 years. You do have a good time release date, mandatory release, August 29, 2035. Is that correct information?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Stapleton.
Okay, Mr. Reisner, what would you like to say to the board today to let us know how you got where you are today?
I guess if I was talking about how I got where I am, it would probably start a long way back, but I would like to say that I understand that addiction is a process and that relapse is a process. And without going into my life history or anything, I become addicted at an early age. I found myself in a cycle of using and abusing, and I found myself even to the point of being a batterer of the people that I dated. And I sit here today and I'm guilty. And I'm glad that I can say that I'm guilty, because it seemed like the first time I went to prison, I felt like it was everybody's fault but my own. And the second time I think I did start taking accountability, but I hadn't started taking responsibility. And I didn't prepare. I didn't make a plan that was going to be successful. When I left prison the last time, my plan was to get a job and smoke a little weed. And my plan was to probably maybe do a little meth, but I wasn't going to sell drugs no more and things like that. And I went home and that's what I did. I got a job and I started using. When I didn't sell, but I found myself back in the same spot. And I didn't really realize then what was the obsession or the compulsion. though I had lived through it, I never really put a name to any of it. But this time in prison, I really began to find a recovery. I began to believe that that was something I needed. I used to laugh that off and kind of pick on people. I thought that was kind of lame and that wasn't for me. I guess I thought I had it together, but the truth is I didn't. And if I was sitting here today for what all I've done, I'm guilty. I really don't deserve much of nothing. But I have been working a program, and I'll have 4 years sober in about 3 months and 6 days from now. And man, I just had to come to a place. I have an unshakable belief that change is possible, that I have the capacity to change. I sit here, I've been sober. I've never been that in my life. I never had a year, but I'm here approaching 4. And for right now, that's good enough for me, brother. Parole happens for me this time or not. I'm thankful to be in my right sober mind. And it don't look good because I've done some terrible things. I found myself in some bad places. I bought into the literature. I kind of look at it like the Bible. I don't understand it all, but I believe it all. And so I've been uncovering a lot of things that come in cycles. Tell the truth, I had a little relapse earlier this year. I got a rap sheet that had me back eligible for parole. I didn't use drugs, but I found in my thinking, I started being angry, and instead of having a grateful attitude and just being repentant, I started looking at faults in others and things. But I'm glad I had laid down some groundwork because I had people I could go to, and I said, man, I see myself kind of getting off track, and guys helped pull me back up. I always kind of isolated when I was getting high, but I built a community in here. And whenever I'm given the chance, whenever it does come, I'm gonna do the same out there. I'd help it today. Brother Henderson Palmer would be here with me if I was to make parole. I'm going out there with a guy. He's a prison minister. For whatever reason, he wants to be involved in my situation, and so my residence plan and my employment plan kind of revolve around him. For whatever reason, he wasn't able to make it today. And while it is a little disappointing, I have also learned through the process not to take it personal. I know that there's a reason for it. I know that he's still bought into the process. He's been right here where I'm at. I think he's right here in Rayburn. He got out maybe 15 years ago or so. And, you know, I whatever it is, I know I need some community. You know, like my family, I know they love me. I know they want to be there for me. Maybe they might not even quite have a good understanding of why I want to just come straight home. But, you know, I've started a good thing here, and you know, I believe in the steps. I believe in God. I believe in the process. I believe that I'm able. So whenever that time comes, I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to have a plan. And that's the best that I can do. I work every day and I give myself in service, believing that really I made some notes. And, you know, the things that I believe in number one, the power of prayer. Because when I was in a hopeless state, it first started coming about with the courage to start believing for something else, to pray. I believe in the process of recovery. I believe I need to prepare. I need a plan. I need to execute. I believe in the promise of sowing and reaping. It sounded bad at first because I was like, dang, man, I sure have done a lot of bad things. But it says that if you don't get weary with well doing, sooner or later you will reap a harvest. To not get weary with well doing. I believe in the principle of sharing. Even my pain, I've learned that here at Rayburn as a mentor, I go around and I see a lot of guys that are still lost in addiction and things. And it seems like the more I give away, the more I'm able to help them and the less of a burden it is on myself, which is really just the principle of step 10, that I continue to take a more inventory of myself. And when I'm wrong, I properly admit it and having a spiritual awakening. I continue to take that message and I do apply those principles to my life. And I believe in number 5, the power of identification, that as long as I stay in a sober mind and do the right thing, that God's always revealing to me those places where I'm still deficient, places where I'm able to overcome at, and with the help of others, and having faith, I believe that I'm able. And other than that, I guess if you wanted to know that I had plans, I mean, it's kind of basic recovery stuff. I'm gonna avoid all mood altering drugs. I'm doing it in here. I feel like if I could do it in here, I can do it out there. I've never been sober in prison. I've never been sober in society. This is my first experience with sobriety. Not just with sobriety, but in recovery. I'm on 10 meetings. I believe in only having sober friends. I got people that I can call in a crisis, that I can go tell them what's going on, because I really believe in open and honest communication, which is, I know some things is going to get kind of hectic in a little while if we talk about things like criminal history, because there's some bad things there, but I believe in open and honest communication, or else I'll be stuck in my past. I believe in getting a sponsor. That's why I have Henderson Palmer. Even though he's going to be my mentor, I know he's going to help me be plugged in to people who's going to be able to be my sponsor. I believe in avoiding all triggers whenever possible. I believe in working the steps, developing a spiritual program. I believe when I get out of here, the last time when I went home from prison, I used the insurance and I went out and I got some prescription medication. That's what I did. I used it for all, I didn't even really need it. Just got some mind altering substances from the doctor. This time I plan, if I make parole, I hope to go out there and use the insurance, get personal individual counseling. Because I know there's some things that I don't know if I can fix it here. I haven't yet. There's some things I know that's still on the inside that has to be dealt with. I think I need maybe a different level of concern for that and care. And I know it's available out there. I didn't use any resources the last time other than in a frivolous way. I believe in participating in ministry opportunities. I'm a peer minister in here. I'm a mentor. It's been working for me here. I give myself in service. I mean, none of it wouldn't show up on paper, but they got people over there that's got dementia and things like that. I got a special ministry there. I got a brother who's paralyzed. My mother's in the nursing home. I kind of believe that maybe somebody be kind to them. So I've been playing it forward. I want to continue getting my degree. I've already attained an associate's degree. I got 3 ASC certifications and a technical degree from a community college, but I'd like to attain my bachelor's degree. I hope to have, maybe someday I could use it to be a counselor. I believe in building a positive self-attitude, because for a long time, I definitely had a negative outlook on my own self. I didn't feel very deserving. Tell the truth, I don't feel like it today. But I come against it every chance I got.
Can I ask you something?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We've talked a lot about what you believe in, and most of it, well, all of it's surrounding drugs and helping other people. But what I haven't heard you say anything about is the fact that you've got a history, a serious history of domestic violence.
That's right, ma'am.
Break that down for me real quick.
Well, I had one prior arrest on it before I had this conviction. And the truth is, there was definitely an element of domestic violence involved. I mean, there was. However, during the course of the situation, they had some other things they attached to it. And so when it went through the court system, it got dismissed. And if I had to be totally honest, I didn't take that opportunity to recognize in myself those faults, because I said, oh, well, you know, they put a rape charge on me. I didn't rape anybody. And I could sit here and say I didn't sexually assault anybody, though, you know, I have been arrested for it. And if it hadn't been for that, I would have been processed through the court system, and I would have been found guilty, because I'd have had to plea out to the domestic violence. I would have. And I looked at everything except for on myself, man. To be honest, just like I had developed throughout the course of my life, I let it be about everything but me.
Okay, so that was the one in 2011. That goes way back.
That's right. Yeah.
And then drugs were always involved. Serious drugs were always involved.
That's right.
Everything you've admitted to until I brought up the domestic violence. Didn't say nothing.
Oh, man.
Now I see that you took victim awareness, and I see that you took the domestic violence program. You've talked about every single program except that. And now now we're back here again.
Yes, ma'am.
While you're talking, why don't you tell me something about that?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I'll be honest, some of that stuff is rather perplexing to me. It makes us acknowledge things in ourselves. And while I was in relationships, just like this last time, I didn't batter during my relationship, but I had an episode in the end where things got, and you know, I choked her. I choked that girl, and she was such a good girl. And I would be surprised that she didn't necessarily speak against me today, ma'am, to tell the truth. I terrorized her. I threatened her. I used coercion. I didn't punch her physically, but I slapped her and I choked her, and I think it was my attempt, as I read the material and stuff, I believe that in that time I was trying to hold on control of a situation that had been well out of control. And I took it out on her, ma'am. And I don't agree with all the information and I don't understand it. Like for instance, and I made a history, the note of it because it's very important to me because I do want to change. It says that a history, and this was what the literature said in the DAP program. It says that a history of a man who batters is often a history of childhood abuse. And while that is an explanation, I don't want to let it be my excuse. And the truth is I grew up in domestic violence. My little brother, he grew up in domestic violence. My stepdad and my mother, they was both alcoholics. I'm thankful to have him in my life and here today. Because I know that if I did go home, he's got some years of sobriety. And I'm thankful for that. And I do understand that some things that happened in my childhood has played a bad role in the things of my adulthood. However, I feel like I got to be responsible for that. And I have a strong desire for that. It also says that the only way we can make extensive changes, ma'am, is to be fully accountable. It says that we have to have a good environment. And it says that we have to be willing to work a long process, being painfully honest with myself and accountable.
Well, you know what you're doing to me right now? You're just reading off a list. You're not talking
That's
to me
right.
about it. So what we're gonna do here is now, we're gonna interrupt for a little while and you can gather yourself and the people that you would like to speak, like your brother. Let's see what your brother has to say. And you gather yourself when we speak again, that you're not just reading off of a piece of paper, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, your brother, what would you like to say?
They come up so when they hear me.
Speak.
They can probably hear you from there, Jim.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what I would like to say is that me and my brother's relationship has not always been good.
Yeah, sir.
And although, you know, everybody has a past. Some past are worse than the others. And when we say truth, people think sometimes truth is good. But truth is not always good because sometimes truth is ugly. And the truth is, my brother's got an ugly past. But through y'all's programs and through the power of God, this is the first time I've seen him change in prison. He hasn't done drugs, and my brother, I'm not gonna cut him no slack here in front of y'all. He was an addict. And on drugs, sometimes, yeah, things could get physical. I don't know what all y'all would like to hear from us. I know that I can sit here and tell you a lot about what I know about it. Me and my brother for the past 5 years probably has not spoken much until about a year ago. Because it's like he said, I was so used to him blaming others for his actions, for his problems. But since he's been here, and like I said, through y'all's program, I've never seen a change in my brother that has come about until recent. Until the last few years. This is the first time him being sober ever in his life. Ever since I can remember, my brother's done drugs, crack, meth, you name it. I mean, me and him's both been through it. I recently got, and I know this ain't about me, this parole, but I didn't get sober till 5 years ago. I've done drugs most of my life. And I'm not blaming my parents. I mean, even though they were alcoholics, we can't put our problems on childhood. Lee's learned to accept that and take that into accountability. I mean, he takes accountability for his actions now, which I've never seen. This is a whole new side. And I know y'all sitting here telling him, you know, let him get his stuff together. You know, one of the things is, you know, is regardless whether y'all let him go on parole or not. Before we even come to this parole date for the last several weeks, you know, I've told him, I said, you know, Paul done some of his greatest works right in the jailhouse. And he said, my brother said, you know what, brother? And he said, whether they let me out on parole or not, I'm not gonna feel no certain type of way about it either way. I'm still gonna continue doing what the Lord has called me to do. Now, for my brother to say that,
It's huge, huh?
it's huge. It's huge. Now, don't get me wrong. I would love for y'all to let him out on parole. This is the first time that I could say him leaving and going out into the world would be a good thing and be good for others. I mean, the only reason he's in good a shape as he is because of the programs that y'all have here. So the programs are working.
Yes, sir.
Programs are working for him. And, you know, I can't thank y'all enough for, you know, the people here. I mean, this is one of the hugest things for him I've ever seen. One of the biggest changes in his life I've ever seen. And I know that if y'all was to grant him parole, I know without a shadow of doubt in my mind that he's going to be all right this time. His way of thinking has changed so much than it has beforehand. You know, I told my brother, you know, I was just going to let the Lord speak through me to y'all. I wasn't writing nothing down. I wasn't making no list because I believe that transparency should be what it's all about. And I'm transparent with y'all. I mean, my brother, he was bad at one time.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you couldn't, you know, you just had to have known it. From where he was, you know, 5, 10, 15 years ago. I mean, if y'all knew him the way I knew him,
Okay.
y'all would know how big of a change he has made and what he is willing to do to keep himself up. I mean, I told him, you know, man, if you ever get, you know, if they do grant you parole, if there ever comes a time, you know, you feeling like you need to do something like, come to me. I'm not going to judge you for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to hold you accountable. And Brother Henderson and Brother Travis, you know, both of them has been here. And Brother Travis, he's doing amazing. One of my brother's dearest and closest friends. Brother Palmer also. They're doing big things outside these walls, outside these bars, outside the gates.
You've given a wonderful testimony for you, brother. Can we, we're gonna have to move along. But I'm glad for everything you said, okay? I'm really glad for everything you said. No, that's okay. Can we let the next person speak? Didn't you have somebody else that wanted to speak for you? Maybe your aunt?
I'm just gonna say one quick thing. I'm gonna agree with like what Jeremy says, but you know, the main thing with Lee is his sobriety because he really has a heart. It's his road. But when the drugs come into play, that's when the domestic violence comes in. But he really is a good person, and I want him to stay focused on his sobriety. And that's the only time I know of his domestic violence, and it's no excuse for it by no means.
Understand.
It's when he jumped back into the dope.
Okay.
But
All
he
right,
has
so
to do some And we're
I'm
all
gonna
here
see-
for him.
Thank you so much, and thank y'all for coming to be in support of him. Anybody on the panel want to speak?
Warden, you want to ask him?
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought I asked you, please forgive me. Warden, what would you like to say?
First of all, Ms. Stapleton, I'd like to say that when I interview inmates for parole, I
Mhm.
tell them to make an outline to go by. Because they
Well, the
usually
outline was
get-
good.
usually
Nothing
train
wrong
of
with
thought. So I do
Good
tell
job.
them to make an outline.
Yeah, you did good.
Right.
And we'll come back to it if we need to, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Chris has been a trustee here. He covered his degrees in school and ASE and other things like that. He initiated as a mentor in our sober living dorm when we started it, which has been a very good success for us. We have 2 inmates who with dementia in the infirmary who need constant people with them. Chris is huge with that. Like he talked about helping them to maybe somebody would help his mom. He has been big in the church. He is affiliated with Henderson Palmer. Henderson's been really good with folks out of here. But the main thing, Chris is a housing orderly. He works at my house. And I would not have anyone that I was concerned about working around my family. And I have seen him for these last 4 years, 3.5, 4 years. And I see what he's about, and everything he said about the change that he's made, he is correct with that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for what you had to say. Okay. You can speak, Chris.
Man, and I'm glad you did that, and I appreciate that because you're right. I was reading off that list, and what it does, it seems
Well,
like
and he
it
tells
puts
you
a
too, that was a good thing to do too. He doesn't want you forgetting things, so just go ahead and say from your heart.
But that I know that puts a lot of makeup on an ugly situation, because the truth is, if I look back to my first time I ever remember having a domestic incident, it was probably in 2008. And, you know, I was using drugs. And what I did, I placed blame on others, and I minimized my own situation. And then I got into a habit of being in relationship with people who, you know, we got high. That's what we done. We got high and everything that came with it. And I did. I know that I'm a batterer. And the way I do it is really a scary thing, because I didn't batter, and I really what I do, I guess I trick people into thinking I'm some great person. And man, I wish I could make an amends to my victims. And I did for a long time. I thought, and this is, I know it sounds terrible, but I'm just gonna tell the truth. I felt like that's what we were supposed to be doing. And this last time I had a girlfriend, and she was a normal, regular person. She wasn't a drug addict. She didn't do any drugs. And she didn't understand what was going on when I started back getting high on hard things. And man, even before I battered her, I emotionally abused her, and I put her in a situation that was untenable, that she couldn't even win in. And I'm desperately sorry. If I was any way I could make an amend to Casey Manning today, I wish for the rest of my life, I wish that I would be able to repay what I've done. I know I can't do that. I doubt she would want me to. And I don't have all the answers to this domestic thing. I really don't, man. And I accept that I've seen it, and I accept that I grew up with it, and I accept that it's impacted me, but I know that it was me, that I could have left and walked away. I could have done anything except what I did, man. And man, I'm terribly ashamed of it. I'm absolutely ashamed of it. I've been in 3 relationships of domestic violence, and I don't know how to come out of it exactly, except to keep working towards it. I do recognize it in myself, ma'am. I do seek out counseling. I want to do anything within my power to not be a domestic abuser. And I learned a lot in the program. The program gives you some good materials, and I have applied it to myself in every way I can inside this prison setting.
Just a quick question. How long is y'all's domestic violence program? There's a 26-week program. Is that the one you took? Okay, yeah, Nash. Well, Chris, you've given a good interview. You've given a thorough interview. And thank you to the warden for the outline. So right now, if we can, we'll ask the panel if they have any questions.
Well, if you can do it briefly, Chris, I'd like for you, because you seem to like to talk a lot, and I bet some of the things you said today is probably the first time your family's ever heard you say it. Is that true?
Well, not necessarily. I think I share my recovery with them to a degree. I don't think they necessarily understand by not being around me. But
Yeah. So at what point, because you were on supervision when this most recent domestic violence issue happened,
yes, ma'am.
that was 2022?
2020.
2020. And then you
Yes,
say then in 3 months or so, you'll have 4 years sober. What was it that clicked to where you really started looking in the mirror?
Well, ma'am, I was in the parish jail and I was still using. I was getting high.
Right.
I had a trust position, a position of trust, and really I had a new hurt happen. I thought he was a close friend of mine. He's got a baby with my uncle's daughter. And while I was using, of course I done what all addicts do. I isolated, I avoided, and he had gone through a serious medical procedures and stuff, and he died. And my cousin was telling me, she like, he didn't understand. He wanted to talk to you and stuff. And anyway.